What is up everyone, and welcome to another video. I have 4 Legend of Zelda figures here to review for you, and hopefully if you've never seen these before or are on the fence about getting them, this review will persuade you to pick these awesome figures up. Each of these figures were released by Dark Horse Deluxe, and they were released in sets of 2, beginning with the Twilight Princesses Link and Ganon, followed by Skyward Swords Link and Scervo. While both Links retailed for $79.99, the villains Ganon and Scervo retailed for $129.99. The Twilight Princess series could be purchased from multiple retailers, while the Skyward Sword series were GameStop exclusives. Each figure comes in a decently sized box featuring artwork of the character, as well as having an openable flap to display relatively well if you like to keep your figure pristine in the box. The plastic inside keeps the figure firm in place and prevents any damage if an accidental fall should happen. Now let's take a closer look at each individual figure, beginning with the Twilight Princess's Link. The base itself is a hollow yet solid piece of plastic featuring the Triforce as it does with each figure, providing pegs to hold your figure in place. Link is a solid piece of resin with no removable or movable parts. The paint job and colors are pretty solid and overall very well made and faithful to the game's graphics. The pose he's taking is a very calm posture, if not generic, simply looking ahead with sword and shield in hand. But overall, a solid figure worth adding to any Zelda collection, and you can find them now on Amazon brand new for roughly around $60. Moving on now, let's take a look at the Twilight Princess's Ganon. This was the first figure I got of the 4, even before Link, and there's a reason as to why. Simply look at it. Let's be honest here, of the 2 figures, Ganon steals the show of the first series. He has a very formal pose and posture as you would expect from Ganon. The sculpt is again solid with no movable or removable parts. The paint job does this figure justice, and he feels very secure sitting on his base. This is a wonderful piece anyone would be happy to have in the collection and would serve well as a centerpiece. Now, Ganon is a bit more desirable because of these details, so finding him now would run you roughly $75 through $100, depending on where you go and the day. Next up will be the Skyward Sword series. Let's take a look at the other Link. Right away you can see Link has gotten an upgrade to the pose. A much more action-oriented stance, it looks like he's attacking or defending with his sword. Now once again, this figure is solid with no removable or movable parts. The paint job is once again done very well. While very understandable because of the game, the only gripe I have with this figure itself is that his sword is in his right hand. As some of you may know, Link is left-handed, and this is just a very nitpicky detail that doesn't really compromise the figure whatsoever. Walking into most any GameStop with $30 will add this figure to your collection due to the recent clearance of the Skyward Sword series of figures. At $30, buying this figure is a no-brainer. It's a great price for a great Zelda piece. And this leaves us with the 4th and final figure, and feasibly the most unique. Scervo is an interesting choice to make a figure of from the many enemies of Skyward Sword, but it's perhaps the perfect choice. The figure is fairly large compared to the others. It is the only figure of the 4 that has removable parts, being both the swords. Each piece is pretty solid and when put together stays together very well. The pose is, like Link's, a battle-oriented one with sword in hand and ready to attack. The right arm and sword stick out a bit from the body of the figure, and to compensate for the weight, it does come with a small clear plastic piece to help support him from falling over, which I do find necessary. You can also find this guy at most GameStops for $50, and like all the others, I believe this guy is a great addition to your collection, especially if you love Skyward Sword. So there you have it guys, a closer look at the Dark Horse Deluxe's The Legend of Zelda figurines. I hope I have answered any questions you may have about them and maybe even inspired you to get a set of your own. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.